Welcome back, our lovely salties. On today's episode, Hold My Borg, we're recapping Gasparilla, and it's colder than a witch's tit out there. Then, on our Saltbox topic, we made the news, and it's a good thing, I promise. And of course, we'll wrap up with everyone's favorite, our Beaches Tide Check, to keep you in the know of all of our local events. So grab your favorite drink and get ready to get a little salty with us.
Titi me preguntó si tengo muchas novias. Muchas novias. Hoy tengo
I'm excited.
Okay, getting us ready for next Sunday.
Sunday. I was gonna say I'm very excited. I wish I had learned how to at least say Sunday in Spanish. Damn it, Caitlin! I had pretty much all.
I know you said activate learning Spanish. I mean, unfortunately, you said it. Well,
like in October. No,
yeah. Since we talk about weeks with the NFL, we should probably say probably about week 9.
Yeah, if that, not before then. Like
9 out of 17, you're like, whatever. I'm going for Bad Bunny.
Whatever. But, I'm like, what up?
Well, he was on the Grammys last night and he won, and I'm so happy for him. It was the first time a Latino all Spanish album won album of the year. So I was really excited for him, and he was really emotional and taken back by it.
I heard that he was taken over by emotions, and I haven't recorded, so I will go back and watch it.
It's a good one. I mean, last year's was really good, and I actually don't even know if we ended up talking about it last year, but I swear Chapel Rose is still like playing rent free in my head from like last year. And I didn't really have that this year. There were a couple of times where I'm like, anyway, hit the forward button. But Justin Bieber performed too, which was kind of cool.
I actually saw your husband comment on his costume on Facebook. Yeah. something about look good in his boxers. So I got that to look forward to.
Good to know.
I expect Michael to keep me abreast on, pop culture.
So that seems like his type. I mean, yeah.
I mean, speaking of your husband, he pretty much took over with that AI photo of Gasparilla.
I mean, he pretty much did.
He broke the internet.
He kind of did. I mean, I had quite a few of my friends reach out to me and are like, Michael, I'm like,
did Michael figure out how to use ChatGPT? And we're like, no, even better. That's actually real.
Yeah, that's actually totally real. Totally real. So so I got to go to Gasparilla. We were talking about last week that you were going, and then our broker boss couldn't go, and thank you for not being able to go. So I got to bring myself and a +1, and we got a VIP tent, which was exciting. I mean, it was really cold, but I will say that I get it. Like, I get it. I get why people like Gasparilla.
I get it. Yeah.
I do. And I'd go again.
You know what? I would totally go again. We're going to say a prayer and a wish and a whim and, burn a match or do a seance or whatever we have to do to have better weather maybe next year. A lot of people were saying that, well, it's always in January. So it's always, kind of it's always kind of, like we'll see what happens. But apparently this one was a banner year because they even had to reroute the boats. The boats weren't even able to go all the way to Ballast Point with the gale force winds.
Gale force is right.
I honestly and I don't know why, but I was still surprised at the people that were not prepared for the weather. Like, I get it, those cars where like 7 college kids, barrel out of a clown car of a Civic, and we went and bought a pirate costume, and oh my God, remember that one year we were freezing? Like, it's so funny.
Totally.
But the
miserable
and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people that were not dressed appropriately. And maybe this is just things we say now.
It is probably things that we say now.
I couldn't believe it. And actually, I probably saw some like fake Onion article where it was like more hypothermia and frostbite reported at Gasparilla Parade than ever before. I don't know if that was real or not, but to tell you the truth, when it dropped after 3 o'clock, I would not be surprised if some of these girls in these dresses of cutouts
Yeah.
of, you know what I mean? Like just
Yep, they were dressed as
costumes.
pirates, and
Yeah.
I mean, some of them were slutty pirates, and some of them were just adorable pirates, and then some of them, you know, it's a typical white blouse showing your shoulders and
Yeah.
some sort of corset and
Either way,
tight
even the gentlemen's
short skirt.
costumes of the loose linen shirts
Yeah.
that were like V-cutted deeply, and they had the little pirate trousers on. That material is nothing.
No, and
It
they're
is
not spending a ton of
nothing.
money on these things. I mean, at the very least, if they make it one night, they're probably pretty happy with it. So it was
Wow.
definitely quite the experience. I was so excited to be able to go, but I was also very nervous because the cold really gets to me. And
Yeah.
when we were walking back to the car, you could see your breath when you were talking. And I don't know if there's ever been a time in Florida that I've ever been able to do that, but it was so much
Not
fun. So
during
we
the
got
day. I feel like there
VIP
might have been a
tent, too.
few early mornings where it's still nighttime out. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
3, 4 in
yeah,
the morning when my dog has to go out, and I'm like, oh, look at that. But like not
yes.
in the daytime.
No, not in the
And
daytime is right.
there were a few times that the sun peeked out. I'm not sure if you remember, and literally everyone, including all of us, were like, the sun.
Yes.
Oh my God. I felt like we were some indigenous tribe back in the day watching like a solar eclipse happen and be like, we're not worthy. Like, it was just,
Not only was it when the sun came up, but we were like pulling layers off instantly, hoping that it would stay that way.
yes.
And had it
Yes,
stayed that way, I
exactly.
think all of us would say it wasn't too bad because that
I
sun, no matter what time of year, is warm in Florida. So
just whip it out. Right. Exactly. Even with the wind, and we knew the wind was going to increase all day long. And sure enough, after 3 o'clock, I mean, we stepped away from that actual parade route
yeah,
later, and it was like Dorothy country. I
yeah,
mean, the
it was.
gusts were so crazy whipping through the buildings there. And
They
I
were.
mean, I can't believe I actually made it home with my hat.
Well, it actually became a sport while we were there.
It
Caitlin
was.
was wearing this adorable pirate's
It was a
hat,
pirate hat. Yeah.
and it didn't fit 100% properly because underneath it she had a beanie on
To
to help
make it
protect,
fit.
understandably, a tight beanie to help protect her head. And so she was putting that on top of it, but because of the wind, I feel like
Yeah.
if I were to think back to some of the phrases of that day, one of them would be my hat.
Oh no, my hat.
As your hat would go flying, and no doubt it always went flying into an area that we had to get a police officer or security guard involved. I mean, God
Well,
forbid it just like go down next to us. It had to take itself, across the way so that we had to get other
into
people
a
involved.
restricted area, which thank goodness your husband had also made small talk with most of the immediate law enforcement around our area. And so they were, the first time it flew into that one fenced off area, I asked Michael, I didn't make him, but I said, you're friends with him. Can you go ask your friends if I can get my hat?
That's right. He's like,
So,
sure.
yeah.
He's like,
Well,
challenge accepted.
and then you remember he spent about 37 seconds in there grabbing all the beads that
Oh, yeah. Then he got
no
yelled at
one
to
could
get
get
out of there.
to, and
Yeah,
throwing them back into the crowd, and
that's
everyone
right.
was like, yeah.
Yes.
So
There was the amount of beads that are being thrown out. I mean, for those of you that have gone, you know this, but I did not. Of course, I realized that it was a bead festival, but I mean, it's more bead festival than Gasparilla Festival in some ways because of the
yeah,
amount that are being thrown. But we got the great fortune of having kind of a VIP tent from Florida, a title company
yeah,
and the agency, and then so that was across the street, Bayshore Drive specifically
on the
from
water
where,
side, right?
yeah, from like kind of where, I mean, for lack of a better word, the Gen Pop was, right? Like, so Gen Pop was on one side and we were on the other, but there were passages to go back and forth. So we got to
Across
do
the
that,
street,
but
right? Yeah.
we were led to believe that we would not be able to travel back once the parade started, and it couldn't have been further from the truth.
No. So we actually took full advantage, but I have to tell the story a little bit in real time because
Yeah.
I feel like it's worth it. So we're told that the tent is open at noon. We planned accordingly, parking, leaving early enough. We got lucky. I'm not saying if we hadn't left maybe 15 minutes later, or if God forbid there had been an accident, everything would have gone as smooth as possible. We did get dropped off as close as possible to Bayshore. I know you and Michael drove and then walked through towards Bayshore from like Amalie Arena, but we were actually really, really, truly in South Tampa, where we were at like West Swan. And I can't think of the intersection, but basically we were trying to take West Swan all the way to Bayshore. So we all wind up converging basically near the tent at the same time. Actually, you and Michael had already found your way inside, if I remember correctly. And
we got there not too long before, or not much before you guys.
Well, you were still ordering your first drink, so I'm like, couldn't have been that long. So
couldn't have been that long.
So anyway, Michael does recon for the almost 2 hours that we're in there, and we're told that the parade should start and be around us about 2:30. And apparently, one of the rookie cops, which your husband was graciously giving away the hand warmers that were in our tent, calm down, people that sponsored. It was to the local police officers. Everyone's fine. But they were, being very friendly with us in accordance for the offering, essentially, I guess. And the guy, it was his first, and I asked Michael, is this the first one he's worked? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And I'm like, exactly. Here's your sign. But I'm kind of okay with it, because by telling us that, like, almost like you shall not pass, right? After the parade starts, your ass is on this side of Bayshore, hell or come water. Buckle up. You're locked and loaded, and you ain't getting out of here until closer to 6. And we're like, well, we don't want to do that at all. And honestly, it looked warmer on the other street with the amount of bodies in Gen Pop. And the wind was blocked on that side because the houses were behind it. So we made an executive decision that we were all going to take a roadie, grab a drink, grab an extra, and we were going to head across the street a little bit closer to 2. Parade didn't start at 2.
No.
And it wasn't to us by 2:30. So some of us had ran out of beverages, and it was nominated that Michael would run back across the street, get some more beverages and maybe some beads, and come back. This was the first time we initiated this. So we were all a little bit nervous. So Michael goes, and we watch him across the street.
I was very nervous.
I was very nervous for you. I was very nervous for you because I was watching you, and you and I were the 2 tallest in the group. Yes. So of course we're like on point, like watching him, right? He is successful. And we see him literally leaving the tent as around the turn of the Bayshore Boulevard, here comes the parade, the beginning of the parade.
Yes.
So we all begin yelling, run, Michael, Michael, run, Michael, run, Michael, run, run, Michael, run, like a Forrest Gump moment. And he's trying to run, and he's got stuff in his coat and everything. And the security guy that was standing on that side realizes we're screaming at someone behind him. And he looks and look at the parade route. And then he looks behind him and he sees Michael. And I see him go, come on, like, come on. And your husband was like the last one to get through. And then they were like, doop, and like stopped it, because obviously the parade was starting. But just so you good people know, that was not true. We were able to go back and forth across Bayshore Boulevard multiple times in the break of the parade traffic.
And only because we had the pass.
Well,
they
correct.
Were very strict about that.
Yes, you have to have the pass that shows that you were in a tent or have access to a tent. You can't just, rush the gate.
You just could not do that. And they were strict about it.
Well, and the thing is, we had the passes to get back over there, but we thought it truly would be, sorry, folks, park's closed. Like, you're not allowed to go across the street, period. End of story.
Yeah.
That's how the cookie crumbles. Too bad.
Yes.
So inadvertently, shout out to the Florida Agency Network for sponsoring all of our beverages on the general population side.
That's right.
And we had a great time.
So we had a great time. And going back to that story, what was funnier was the collection of little like minions next to us that were going,
oh,
run, Michael.
There was a sorority. Yep. Yes. There was like a freaking sorority behind us. And when they realized who was running, and it was a guy that had given a couple of them beads, which means they're now besties, right?
Yes, they're besties.
So then they're like, oh, Michael. So you have like 20 little minions screaming.
It's so hysterical.
And then the second he got to this side of the street, our entire section just erupted like, yeah,
like we had just beat the system. We had beat the system.
We beat him.
But that was a great spot though, because Captain Morgan had that ship. Like the beverage, Captain Morgan had this huge pirate ship.
It was a
they had
bar.
DJ up there.
Yes.
That was killing it.
Dude.
And they had a couple of police officers that were not only having fun up there. I mean, they were definitely doing their job.
They're keeping an eye, right?
They were definitely, but a couple of times you'd see them like take out their camera because it was some things that were going on were just so funny, and
the energy was so infectious that they just couldn't help but enjoy. Like, look at this is great. They couldn't,
because everyone was having so much fun, and it was truly like as soon as you hit where the ship was, it was like you were required to like almost do some sort of Congo line, right? Like whatever dance move you want to the song that is right there, you were required. So it's like people next to the ship, people by the road, like we were, and then like the Congo line in the middle that was going by. And it was some of the best people watching.
Yes.
And I definitely like understand that I'm older now because I don't know any of that music, and I was sad about it. I mean, you were pretty good with it, but I knew, but I didn't know the words to most of it. But yeah,
I had a moment, and yes, that the beat though, when it comes down to it, it's like, give me a beat. Like even if I don't know the freaking words, as long as I can dictate a good beat, I'm good.
You were good.
I will say this: any grown man that can remix EDM with Little Mermaid, Part of Your World,
seriously,
he did that, and I lost it. And
you did. You did.
And I was really happy that, the Tri-Delts or whatever sorority that was around us, they probably watched this because their grandmother made them watch it. God help me. And it's just like, I grew up with it, but it was so funny because it was like I had my own little mermaids like all singing the chorus, and I was like, yes. And then
you were very, very excited when that song came on. And
at the same time, we were probably in front of there for about 2.5 hours. And I will say that I can tell that my time is coming, because there was a time, it was that Toby Keith song where it's like, I'm not as good as I once was, but I was good once as I ever was. I would say there would be a time where I would have known 100% of the songs that he was remixing. And now I would say comfortably, I was about a 75-25.
Yeah. So that's actually better than me, because I wanted to know every one of them, and have now decided that is actually going to be like any type of rap music that Apple can provide to me is going to be my song of choice when I get into the car. But the funnier and crazier thing to me, which I knew nothing about, was the Borgs.
Oh, the Borg. Yes. So we learned it did something.
We learned it is right.
Yep. We learned it did.
We weren't in Tampa for probably 5 minutes before Michael is like, what are you guys walking around with? It was an old milk gallon.
The milk carton, right?
And it's called a Borg, meaning B-O-R-G. And it's black out. What is it? Rage gallon.
Oh,
rage gallon. Yeah.
Oh.
And
I thought it was
range, like
blackout range, like we're within blackout range.
Rage, I guess. R-A-G-E. Yeah. And so all of these, I'm going to say kids, because I have kids that are that age, are walking around with this Borg.
Yes.
And it's like 60 to 70% alcohol.
No, everyone, let's just calm down first. There's no 12-year-olds walking around with these Borgs.
Yeah,
okay?
No,
we're talking like 18 freshman year in college, 19-year-olds, 20, 21, 22. Okay, calm down. Everyone calm down.
Exactly. Yeah, I thank you for thinking that I have kids that young, but no.
Yeah.
And so it's like 60% alcohol, and the rest is like electrolytes and water. And that's what they drink the whole time. And some of them have them decorated. Some of them have some of the same things on it. And I saw them like cheering each other, or like, hey, I like your Borg. And I'm like, that's like moonshine back in the day, or jungle juice to us, right? Like,
we talked about that. We were like, back in my day, it was just like a storage container with Everclear and vodka and Kool-Aid. okay? Because we didn't have Mio, and we didn't know what an electrolyte was. We were just told, drink this Gatorade and get back out on the field, Kevin, right?
Exactly.
That's all there was. I mean, hell, I'm so old. I think I remember when Powerade came out, and there was a big deal.
Me too. And I think they only had 3 kinds too. It was like you want the yellow, the orange, or the red. And red
nobody
was
told
when
us.
it came out.
And nobody told us until we were well past our Borg raging days of Pedialyte's miracle cures.
Yeah.
We didn't have any of that.
No,
we just had to walk it off. Right. Walk it off.
Whatever.
Now, I will say the 2 people that we had with us, shout out to Paris and Steven, they had been to Gasparilla before. The rest of our group had never been.
No, never been.
So they were with a bunch of rookies. And I will say, I mean, I felt we handled ourselves pretty well.
I felt we did too.
Probably had a little flashback to the drag show weekend where I was like, this is amazing. Once we got to the DJ.
Did. Especially when Little Mermaid was playing. I was like, oh, here comes drag Joe Caitlin.
Playing, I felt like Night at the Roxbury, where it was like just at the
dance.
And like I couldn't control.
Yeah, with the standing on the side watching everyone, it was just what a difference it was, like going over there because of the music. We just didn't have any music in that VIP tent, and as much as I loved it, it was still like, well, we kind of want to be with the group and the crowd and experience it. And
we were in this weird kind of a black hole with the wind circling around where the tent to the south had a DJ, the tent to the north had a DJ, and the place adjacent across the street of 4 lanes of traffic had a DJ, but it was just faint enough from all sides that apparently I am very audibly sensitively triggered. And I didn't realize that I was going to go absolutely batshit being in that little silent cone of vortex where I could barely hear Shakira, but then Shaggy would come in, and then I would hear something else, and I'd be like, I can't take it. Like it was like Chinese water. It was
definitely good that we walked over, and we had a good time, and I was really glad that we got to go and do that and experience it, because I have 2 boys that currently go to it, and they love it, and I can't say that I really understood before. I didn't hate it. I didn't say that's dumb or anything. I just didn't have an opinion, and I get it now. I get it. It is a huge party, and it is it's people that are happy and enjoying themselves, and I was there for it.
And I will say the Paris and Steven, they did mention, like, throughout the day, you're going to start to see essentially victims, meaning that they've had too much fun. There might be somebody passed out or throwing up or whatever have you from too much Borg.
Borg. Borg overdose.
And we saw a few things as we were leaving. Luckily, we didn't leave anybody unattended. Okay, everyone was being attended to by their respected groups. Okay, just before anybody comes for us on that, we just walked on. But
there's always someone in the group. There's always usually someone, and then someone that's got to take care of that someone, right?
Well, and I'll say this: not our freaking group. We were
not our group.
We were not rookies. We came to play, and we did the damn thing. So we did it. We all did amazing. What I will say, though, is I read an article after the fact that the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department made 0 arrests on Gasparilla.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Tampa Bay, for keeping it classy. Okay. That is amazing.
It is
no
amazing.
arrest. We're not saying somebody might not got a ticket or maybe their weed bag taken, but we're saying no arrests apparently were made at Gasparilla, which is amazing. It just goes to show that the whole human race can actually be decent.
We can be decent.
Let's do it again.
It's interesting how it's like down by the river, and then it's like Bayshore. And then I had my boys over at Raymond James, which isn't a walk in the park from where we were.
No.
And like FSU, USF, UF, Gulf Coast, FAU, all of the major universities.
Road trip, right?
Yeah, had a road trip, buses that came in. And I think that, Brody at one point texted us and said that they just got shut down. But I actually think that they just probably let them do that for so long. And then once the parade starts, they say, that's it. Like,
okay,
we need to wrap this up at this point. Go find something to do. Either go to the parade and be a part of Gasparilla, or that needs to be it. Because I know that it's like a tailgate over there where they have, they had a stage where they had all this DJ that was just playing almost like it was a rave, right? And so, the people were there to play, and I was in it. I loved it.
20 years ago, sister, we would have been there.
Oh my gosh. I'm not even saying I might not be there next year because I'll
Okay,
be prepared.
don't act like it would have been above you 20 years ago, because I know you went to Gary, Indiana for a fake ID. So we're
That's true.
tailgating
Yeah,
underage
I
drinking
have a
at
wild
Raymond
side to
James.
me. I do have a wild side to me, that's for sure.
I do remember your husband saying, though, like, whatever happens, she cannot get cold. I cannot deal with her cold.
Yeah,
I cannot deal with her cold.
He can't.
Yeah.
He can't. I mean, I had so many layers on. I was very prepared, and the more that we kind of moved
Us
around.
too. Yes.
We weren't stupid about it. We really weren't. And
No.
the more we moved around, like the better off I was. So
that's what I was like, we got to get somewhere to dance. I got to burn some of these.
Me too.
Got to get some.
I just need to get moving.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and then we had taken those hand warmers, and I had 2 in my front pockets. I put 2 in my back pockets of my pants. And then I think I even had one maybe, just to keep everything warm here. And those poor tridelts or whoever the hell was behind us, I swear to God, you would hand them like one. And all 4 of them were like the little things in Toy Story where it was like, ooh.
Yes.
And they would like grab it, and then they would all like touch it and like take turns like passing it around to each other's noses. And I was like, you guys are the saddest thing.
I know.
So we gave them like pretty much all the other ones that we had in our pockets. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just all wearing those outfits that were just completely, they were adorable. I mean, it was a look.
And we talked about this. You weren't in the car on the way down, but I talked about the fact of God to be like, because as we're trying to get as close as possible in the Uber, we're seeing people already in the outfits.
Walking. Yeah.
And I made the comment, I was like, God dang, man, 25 years ago, I remember that, just freezing your ass off in a pair of heels and a bandeau dress and being like, it's fine.
Everything's fine.
I don't want to wear a coat. I don't have anywhere to put it.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't go with these shoes.
Yeah, totally.
But now, I feel like your daughter would be like, you're stupid, and wear something actually appropriate.
Yeah, she would, but she also did that. My oldest son and my daughter they're very, very acclimated to the temperature, so they don't freeze the way that I do. She'll walk out in a long sleeve. Like this morning, it was like 38 degrees, and she was like, "I'm fine, Mom." And I'm like, "Can you just please bring a sweatshirt?"
It would make me feel better.
It feels so much better. Is right.
You know what? Though? Some of those people just run hot. Like
they do.
Trent runs hot. Usually hotter than I do.
Runs really hot. Yeah, he runs really, really warm. It's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I swear, and I'm not just making this up, I have a girlfriend that actually is a direct descendant from an indigenous tribe from originally the UP in Michigan. And I swear to God, we've had conversations that there's certain things, traits, if you will, that are more common in certain types of races. And the warm-blooded, or what we would consider to run hot, or, kind of like deal with the cold and get on with it, it's something to do with their blood.
Yes, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
I don't know. I mean, I could use some of it, but right now, because it's still freaking cold in Florida, I know we're just wrapping up Gasparilla, but the day after Gasparilla, they were already planning an outdoor hockey game in Tampa in the Buck Stadium. And Mother Nature was like, be right there. Yeah. And we actually had snow flurries.
Bring it. Yeah.
Snow flurries in Florida. Mm-hmm. And it was a lake effect. It was like Lake Michigan.
It was.
Where did you see any?
I did not, but I think most of them happened in the middle of the night.
I didn't wake up in the middle of the night, but apparently one of my neighbors said he went outside and it was ever so light. But if you held a flashlight up in the dark, you could see the moisture that had pretty much flaked. And of course, it wasn't accumulating worth a damn.
But still.
Yeah, no, I'm going to need this day after tomorrow shit to just move it along, because there's a reason I live here.
I have had enough already. And it's like last weekend we were bragging about how warm it is, and this weekend we got our piece of the pie, essentially.
We got bitch slapped with our own Borg.
We did. It was like, it was like when Lord of the Rings and that dragon is leaving.
Yep.
And
it just goes.
And then its tail comes in and hits you in the back, and is like, "Oh, you thought you were good, did you?" And And what's his name goes, fly. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. Next thing you know, you get bitch slapped by a dragon.
That's
So
right. That's exactly what happened is like, you forgot about the tail and that's the weapon, didn't you? Because here you go, Florida. There you go.
what's that stupid movie where it's like, gee, or something like, look at my thumb. And then the guy punches the other guy in the nuts and goes, gee, you're dumb. Sorry, I don't know what that's from. You know what, though? Speaking of comedy, I would be amiss if we don't bring this up, and this was a horrible segue, but rest in peace to Catherine O'Hara.
I know.
It is sad. And I realize we can't have all of our favorites forever, but she was such a gem. And her comedy, I mean, her professional partnership with Eugene Levy, like the things that he's posting, and his son Dan Levy, like I'm on the verge of tears about it.
I can't even look at it.
And it makes me feel so good to know that she was exactly the beautiful human being that you thought she was.
Yeah.
Because to me,
they did so much work together.
She is my movie mom.
Yeah.
Her role in Home Alone, which I also think now knowing more, that was totally inappropriate at her age to be the mother of that many kids, especially Buzz. He was like fucking 14. But anyway, I don't know.
It's so sad.
It's sad.
It is always, I mean, and everyone gets hit differently, you know, and that was like, oh, wow. And especially since, I mean, here, you know, illness and sickness is a private thing. And certainly everyone doesn't need to know your business, whether, you know, a couple of weeks ago, Bob Weir passed away kind of suddenly. And so that was really marked the end of like kind of a Grateful Dead era, right? I mean,
keep talking. I actually just had a check slipped under my door, so keep talking.
Yeah, and so it was just like, but you didn't know he was sick, or you know, it's just a private thing, and so it hits you hard when you. Oh, first of all, as we get older, it's not going to get any easier, but you know, there are certain ones that just hit you a little bit harder, and that one, I mean, that sounded like she just. I don't know if she necessarily thought that she was sick either. It sounded like she just had shortness of breath and then realized that she had some internal stuff going on. And
so I haven't read everything, but it's been described as a brief illness.
Yes.
And that could encompass so many things.
So many different things.
Because I know that
recover from at that age.
When my father passed, it was a very sudden passing, in the fact that, I mean, for example, my brother and I only knew for 5 days that he had cancer.
Yeah.
And my mother and him knew for a month and a half, while also trying to figure out stage and where it's at, and is there a plan?
Yeah,
can we
private
do chemo?
thing?
Can we
How
do
do
all
you
the things?
Yeah.
And so, God forbid, when he passed very quickly, 5 days after telling my brother and I, it was complications.
Yeah.
Due to a brief illness.
Yes.
And that's what we put in the obituary. Now, I have read, and again, I'm so not looking to perpetuate any kind of gossip, but I think I also read that she might have had a rare heart condition.
Yeah.
Where basically, you know, there's two sides to the heart and each side has its appropriate valves and such, but something about hers might have been kind of a mirror imaging where it had been kind of compensating perhaps. Again, I'm not a doctor and I need to look further into this, but you just
that's what I read too. I didn't know.
You never know.
You never know. Organ it was really referencing, but that was what I read. I haven't read a lot about it, but I that is what I had heard too. And that's, you know, if you're not prepared.
Did you see that picture where her and John Candy are like hugging? Yeah.
It's just sad. It's just sad. I mean, all of that stuff is very private, but sometimes just even knowing some of that stuff ahead of time helps you just kind of mentally prepare instead of just being like,
and they don't, and they don't owe us anything. That's not what we're saying. But it's just one of those things where it's like, she was such a light. I'm not going to say she seemed like, she was such a light to any project that she worked on. And I feel like anybody that worked with her, you always heard just amazing things about her and her humility and her willingness to participate as a team, and coming from her days as improv, right, with Twin Cities. And that's where she met John Candy and Eugene Levy and Mike Myers and all these amazing people that came from the comedy world with her. And it just, things we say now. And the older we get, I literally saw the trailer for the Mel Brooks Lifetime documentary on HBO, and I need to watch that. I feel like I need to hurry up and watch it. Like it will be somehow taken away from me, but it's an ending of an era.
It is.
I feel like. And then I've been completely honest with you about this. I've not watched all of Schitt's Creek, and you bet your sweet freaking ass I'm going to watch it now, and I'm going to watch it over and over and over and over.
It is so funny.
I know I'm going to love it. I've already started, but I just need to get back to it, and it's at the top of the list. Sorry, Trent, bumping Seven Kingdoms. So
she's brilliant in that. I mean, she's literally brilliant, and not only is she brilliant, her doing that just brought in a whole new generation of fans too, right? Like it just brought in, I mean, she just plays such an iconic role in that, and like it just brought in a whole generation that potentially my daughter would not have known what a trendsetter she was for the female, comedic world. So I bet she just brought in it's just so sad. I mean,
you can't deal with it, man. It was like Jane Fonda and now her, and it's just, oh God. Anyway, so God rest Catherine O'Hara. You were a lady and a dame and a crazy bitch, and we loved you.
That's right.
So that's right.
That's right.
So, all right, guys. Another thing we want to make sure that we get into is there's a lot of tide check coming up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tides to keep an eye on. But before we jump into that, we kind of have to prelude with the Saltbox topic because it has to do with a couple events coming up. We made the news.
Yes. Caitlin specifically made the news.
Well, you're
a very, very, very good piece.
Thank you.
A very good piece. And I know that, we may come in front of a camera and then we do our reels and there's things that are going on. And like, we may have they're able to do stuff like that. But getting interviewed by the news is not easy. Because they're going to ask you. So Caitlin was asked earlier last week, and she threw it at me and said, what do you think I should do? I said, of course you should do it, because Caitlin, as all of you salties know, that she is so eloquent when she speaks, and she would prepare herself appropriately. And it was nothing but truly a stroll in the park as you were walking with. And he quoted you without quoting you, because I knew some of the conversation you wanted to have and that you were prepared to have. And he was using you as a resource without quoting you, but it just created more credibility. And I mean, hats off to you.
He wants to say it. Thank you. And I appreciate that so much, because you and Trent are probably the two people that know the struggle that I went through with that. I personally have public speaking fear. And just like Stephanie said,
most people do, right?
Most people do.
And they hide it in some way.
I was going to say most people do, and they just don't have it thrown in front of them for everyone to witness. Oh, she has public speaking fear.
Well, but this is a little bit even different, because public speaking and getting up in front of a podium and talking is one thing, but that everyone's looking for clickbait, right? Everyone is, especially in the news. I mean, we look for a little bit of it when we do our reels, like what's going to make the news and what's going to make some people laugh. And that's what you're worried about.
I will say, though, if somebody wants to take that beginning clip where I'm walking along the edge of the site, and I promise you, we're going to get into details, good people. So if you choose not to, we'll post the article. Actually, I'm hoping to post the article once it's on the website to our podcast page so everyone can watch. But when I'm walking and I say something about, I'm so excited not to see a dirt lot anymore. I want that on some EDM like track. I want that to be like where the DJ holds his arm up and he's like, I'm so excited not to see dirt anymore. And then the frickin' beat drops, because I think it would be hilarious. So any of my videographer friends that want to go ahead and make that happen, I'm telling you, I think it's going to be a bop, or whatever the hell they're called now. I don't know, but it's going to be fire. So I got a call from Bay News 9 locally, the Spectrum News Channel local here in the Tampa Bay area. Got a call on Monday. My name was given. Shout out to the past mayor of Madeira Beach, Mayor Hendricks, John Hendricks. He gave my number to the news reporter, Josh Rojas, as a resident that might be willing to give my input. So the story itself was covering the parcel and the property that the city of Madeira Beach has just recently purchased. We've talked about this a couple of times now on the podcast. It's a bigger piece of property. It's approximately 4.6 acres. As you come onto the island from Madeira Beach, it would be on the south side, right on Boca Ciega Intracoastal. Again, 4.6 acres. It was purchased for about $18 million. The real estate appraisals have been given of a little over $21 million. So we consider it a pretty smart investment opportunity on the city's part. The city is amazing in the fact that they've actually already had 2 town halls last November for resident input on what we would like to see them do with this property, which I think is amazing. And we have 2 more town halls coming up on February 3rd and February 7th, which again, this topic is going to kind of take us into the beach's tide check. But I told the gentleman Monday when he initially called me, I said, I am very honored. And I think I should, just because you and I try to keep up to date on exactly what's going on and attend as many conversations and meetings and planning things that we can. And I go, but I'm going to be really frank with you, Josh. I have a fear of public speaking. And he was like, well, we hear that all the time. And I go, would you mind letting me take the night just to think about it? And I promise you, I'll give you my answer in the morning. So I did take the night, and I was pretty resolved in the fact of when I was about to call him the next morning that it just was too much. It was something that I didn't think I'd be able to worry about all week long, because they wanted to interview on Friday morning for the 5 o'clock news on Friday. And it goes all weekend, because I also didn't realize that it was the Spectrum News Channel that literally just replays their news stories pretty much over and over and over and over again. And then this is what was funny too. I feel like I'm going to unbutton my jacket for this one because my embarrassment is making me hot. So I called him and I was like, Josh, I was like, I'm sure you're just kind of like, whatever, lady, like, just let me know if you want to do it or not. But I'm really kind of leaning towards no, just because my anxiety is really, I'm a little worried about it. And, out here at the beaches, we're never short of our own controversy. And I'm sure you're well aware of what's going on south of us in Treasure Island. And I just really don't want to put my foot in anything. And he's like, oh, I totally understand. He goes, it's really okay if you don't want to. I already have another resident that's agreed to speak to me. Her name's Pam. And I was like, oh, what's Pam's last name? And he's like, yeah, Pam Rasmussen. And I was like, oh my God, I know Pam. I volunteered with her for years at the Final Friday events. And I was like, you know what? Pam's doing it. I can do it. And then I immediately hung up the phone and we're like, oh my God, what did I just do? So then I had 4 days to just gnaw on that and think about every worst case scenario and, my pessimistic poly brain, how it does. And then I had the audacity to ask him for questions up front, like I was some celebrity or something, and I had to approve all questions. Who do you think you are, Caitlin?
You just wanted to know the tone of the conversation.
And here's the thing: it totally wasn't like I'm gonna scratch through Axl Roses and answering
These
that.
Are off limits.
I just
speak to my publicist.
I just wanted to be prepared. That's all. I just wanted to be prepared. So he's like, "Yeah, we don't really do that for these kind of stories," and I thought, idiot, like immediately to myself.
You're like, let me tell my publicist. Oh wait, that's me too. Okay.
We'll have to get back to you. Yeah. I'll have my people call your people.
Exactly.
So it was just funny because then he's like, no controversy whatsoever. We're past the part about whether or not the city should have purchased. That's not the topic. We're talking about, just what the residences truly want to see done and what you want to see done with the property. Now, I will say this, the story was well done. I did appreciate any and all cuts because
was very well done.
That was not 100% true. There were many questions that were asked that were not what I thought would be to the story in which I was told we were looking to capture. And I'm not saying they tried to catch me out, but it was just one of those things where I had to be very, very careful because he goes, well, you're a real estate agent in the area. What's your professional opinion about? And I'm like, You son of a mother.
Yes. Yes.
And he didn't use any of it.
No, he didn't. He didn't. And I couldn't find it because as we learned in a previous episode that I have YouTube. And
Me too.
for the $20 that you gave me that one time, YouTube. I appreciate it.
The onion rings, right?
$20 that I spent $2.10, whatever, not bitter or anything, but so I couldn't find it. And I woke up in the middle of the night on Friday night, like, okay, I'm going to see if I can find it now. And I found it right away. And I thought it was great. You know, we have been very vocal about, there was a conversations with the mayor that started before some of these town halls that happened. And she had one specifically, and that was the only one that she allowed that really talked about the parcel, because she wanted to make sure that she set the record straight, that she didn't know what was going to happen because it wasn't her decision. It was the community's decision, and that they were going to be holding town halls to all come to an agreement before they even had people starting to place bids on what they wanted to put forward. Right. And so, we've been pretty vocal that we thought it was an awesome opportunity. The real estate in us, of course, would think that. And we believe that, you know, we need to constantly be looking forward, and we want to, you know, protect the integrity of the city, but also recognize that we need to move forward as the world moves forward. And I don't know why you wouldn't want your city or town to own kind of the gateway to get to Madeira Beach, where they could decide what was going to happen. They would make sure that it's a public area that could be developed, as well as the waterfront alone, to be able to say that that's going to be, you know, something that will invite all people to come to, is an amazing experience too. So we've been in much favor. Now, there's obviously been a ton of criticism by, you know, some of the keyboard warriors out there, and they're entitled for their opinion too. But, you know, the larger part is that, you know, if there's one thing, this city doesn't have its own agenda, in my opinion. And
especially not regarding this.
No. And so they have made it perfectly clear that they want to hear the input from anyone, whether you're a business owner or resident or a vacationer. Just, we'd love to hear your opinion about what you want this to look like. And I was thrilled that article actually, it was a positive article about how exciting it is. I mean, everyone, it's
extremely exciting. And a lot of the parts that which I appreciated him, like with the appraisal part of it, the size of a lot of it, some of the other things that have been discussed that have come directly from the town halls that have already occurred. I know he did his journalism due diligence, but I told him a lot. And there were some points too that he brought up to me that have to do with the parcel. For example, a project that's about ready to get finally kicked off here in Johns Pass, the jetty, or not, excuse me, not the jetty, the dredging. The dredging. So the dredging that's finally going to take Hubbard's Beach away, which we've affectionately called it now. That all that sand is actually going to stay. I feel like all the money donated is going to stay right here in Madeira. All the sand that's dredged away is going to stay right here in Madeira. And so they're actually going to put it over on the 555 150th Avenue property. And it's actually going to help basically raise that property up a little bit, which is going to be fantastic. I mean, why should we not use the sand that's already here, right? Let's do it. Because as you and I've discussed in a long time ago episode, that sand, my friend, is not contaminated.
Exactly. We have questions.
We have so many questions. So don't take it to the arena. We're going to need you to take that directly to 555.
Exactly.
Now, one of the hot topics though, and I'm going to spring this on you right now, and I know we're running long on this one, but one of the things I wanted to mention was he asked about that and what my thoughts were about that. And I thought it was amazing. I mean, who really in their right mind would not want the dredging at this point? Where have you been? And no, you're wrong, in Johns Pass. And secondly, who would really give a shit if they did? Like, I just don't understand where a con
Yeah.
could come from it.
I don't know where either. I mean, that is the Johns Pass area, not St. John's Pass, but the Johns Pass area
Did I say
waterway
St. John's?
it is literally for boats to go out to the ocean and boats from the ocean to come back through and potentially go to Tampa Bay. And you can't, I mean, if anyone saw the tides yesterday morning or the day before, I mean,
I
come
took a
on.
picture.
I would literally not have been able to run a business if it was warm enough.
No.
That you could walk out almost to the end of my dock.
Yep.
I looked on our cameras and I was like, well, that's a good reason for the dredging to happen.
I'm going to send you a picture and we can choose whether or not to post it. But I live on the canal there at 129th, and my canal is the first deep water canal. There are big boats that actually go back there to the Madeira Beach Marina. And I'm telling you, I could have walked out into the middle of my canal yesterday.
Yeah.
Like,
we had that we had that last summer too, and that happens a couple times a year where the way the moon, it's like a new moon and it just
it was a snow
massive. Yeah. And where we were fully operational. Right now it's too cold, but and Dylan Hubbard has worked really, really hard on getting the dredging done, and Pinellas County is going to start it, and then Madeira Beach is hopefully going to use their equipment to continue on with it. So, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely, that's a point of controversy, Madeira Beach, they, controversy or not, whatever topic you want to bring in, they want to hear from the people as to what they thought. I mean, the commissioners meeting that they had last week, they had like probably 30 people that showed up from the adjacent condos to that complex, to that 555 unit. And it was really about 217 right there on 150th, because that was brought up in the commission that maybe that would be a great place for the city to buy as well, that area, and put a public works, which it got shut down pretty quickly. So at least it won't be, if they decide to purchase it, it won't be used for public works. And when you think of public works, you think, well, that's not too bad, but it's sanitation and stuff like that. So that's the amount of people that showed up for that, but they listened. I mean, and they literally said, well, based on the amount of community that's here right now, we can see that this is obviously something that they don't want, and we need to listen to that piece of it. And then, it looks like the Kitty Park is obviously another one that's a huge controversy out there. And
so Kitty Stewart Park, for people that are not too familiar with the area, is one of the few Gulf front parks here in Madeira Beach. And it, at one time, was under the stewardship of the Stewart family, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this park happens to align next to a beachfront restaurant.
Yeah. And a townhouse condo that's being built. That's on the south
and a brand new condominium. Yep. That is being built just to the south of it. It's important
to know what the park was prior to all of this.
So in Madeira Beach on Gulf Boulevard, this is basically kind of at about 141st and Gulf. It's about what I would consider to be kind of midtown, if you will.
I would say that too. Yeah.
And this park obviously had a lot more green space. But the subject at hand right now is that it hasn't been rectified or remedied back completely since the hurricane destruction. And even pre-hurricane, there were rumblings and disparages that the park's usage, even before the hurricane, was not what was agreed upon. Is that the most generic way I can put this?
It really is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Continue.
So it's still going back to just making sure that it's being protected, but everyone would, prior to it being anything, which it was just basically a sand dune and
with a bench.
A bench.
Yep.
And it was not, we don't have a bad area in town, but there have been notoriously bad areas that some locals or people that hobos, if you want to call them, that would be where they would hang out. And this city at one point had quite a
We're gonna
few.
call them beach tumbleweeds.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like it had quite a bit of areas that unfortunately had some illicit behavior going on in, and that was one of them. And
Yeah.
as the Caddies group decided to build their restaurant there, which of course was strong opposition as well, but the concern obviously is that Kitty Park is Caddies owning Kitty Park, and are they in charge of it? And you couldn't be kind of further from the truth. I mean, it's going to cost over. They talked about it at the meeting last week, and they openly said, if you have anything that you want to tell us personally, not online, not online, that you want to have a productive conversation.
Right.
If you want to have a productive conversation about what we're doing wrong, then please, they openly said, please come talk to us about what we're doing wrong. But it's going to cost them $750,000 to restore it, because they have to fix the sewer line as well.
Yep.
They have pavers that are a complete hazard if you just reopen the park. They did open up 4 spots today that opened up that they deemed were okay to be open, and and residents do park for free as long as you get your residence tag.
Yep.
They all park for free. And, do those people that potentially pull in there and park go over to Caddies? Probably. I mean, maybe. Or they go out to the beach, or they go there for the sunset, or they do whatever. But Caddies can't run that. They're not allowed to run that. And Caddies.
No, and their valet team is not parking cars in a city beach parking lot.
Yeah. They have a spot across the street.
And the fact that the pull through happens to go underneath the building, so that the FDOT approved in and out from the parcels could be approved back onto Gulf Boulevard. I mean,
I don't get it.
Think about it. Let's think about it, Karen. Okay, let's just use Karen as like, you know what I mean? Like a generic kind of punching bag right now. But how the F are you going to expect somebody to be able to pull into Kitty Stewart parking lot, which was what, 14 spots?
Yeah.
Did we discuss at one time it was 14 parking spots plus trailered restrooms, which was an upgrade from the bush you used to have to piss on, Chad. And now we have 4 parking spots that are reopened under there just because the throughway for the way that the traffic direction gets taken back to Gulf Boulevard to get out just happens to go underneath the structure of a private restaurant. You're welcome.
Yeah.
That they allowed that, in my personal opinion. Yeah. And again, this is, thank God they didn't ask me about this on the news, because I would have been so fired up. And it's
it's right. I mean, there was a whole bunch of different things that they had to work on too. I mean, one of the why it's taking so long, and why they
can't put the bathrooms back the way they were.
You can't.
We have to elevate them, just like you had to do with your house, Barbara.
And unfortunately, FEMA is requiring it. And the only way if you put it back together the way it was, then FEMA's going to come after them.
Yep.
And there are certain things that the sewer had, the pavers, and they have the bathroom is going to be like a real bathroom, very similar to the one that's over by the Shake Shack over in Archibald. It's going to be very similar to that. It's going to face a different direction. So it might take up a couple more spots than what was before, but it'll be by far not only FEMA approved, but it'll be a much better bathroom than the trailer that was available. And so
which was still nice.
Yeah.
And it was
brought up during the conversations with the mayor too, because, there's a lot of conversation online. Well, go to these meetings, voice your opinion. And a lot of the chatter that is happening from some of the individuals out there, their chatter, it starts and stops online, and that's not helping anyone in this. No one's going to solve anything. Like if there's something that the Madeira, I'm going to defend Madeira Beach and say if there's something that they're doing wrong, they're very have a productive conversation.
But see, that's a difference between an announcement or a statement. It's not a conversation.
Yes.
A conversation is 2 parties that are willing to come together and have a discussion about a topic. what's happening right now is that false information is being put out in a announcement.
Yes.
Don't question it. I'm
It's
not going to defend
almost a
it.
scare
I'm
tactic.
just going to put it out there, and it's going to live forever in infamy, and people are going to be able to decipher it the way that they want to. And I'm not going to come for you to prove me wrong. Not saying that it would have been wrong 100%, but I'm just saying you won't even afford them the opportunity to have the discussion.
Yeah. And if there's any part that we are not understanding, I mean, I'm the first one to say, yeah, we didn't understand that. I mean, we had some people reach out to us last week about dead bobs being in Madeira Beach that Caitlin.
I was wrong. And I knew it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that was like, I mean, I was reading the article that was provided.
I'm glad I was wrong. I'm glad I was wrong.
Well, I was too. I mean, I was being provided with the information that was allotted to me, and
they're absolutely right. So the $50 goes toward your application.
Exactly.
It's not for the whole membership. So in my defense, you kind of lit my burner on that one.
Yeah, I did. I was here for it. It was
they're just giving like full all-inclusive memberships at the door for $50. And I'm like,
I literally am reading the information. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And we had some people that were able to clarify that. So Caitlin is not being overcharged.
No. And I had the little button got pulled out, and I was like, so we good. Paula, you're my girl, right? We straight.
We good.
So we're good, right?
But there's a lot of
I should probably call her and be like, we're good, right?
Exactly. Sorry. Sorry about that.
You know what though? Again, we even said in the clip, I'm like, she's a really nice lady. Yeah. And I'm like, she just happens to be the
I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm clearly misunderstanding this because clearly I must be, and I'm okay with that. So, but I mean, the whole point is that, you know, this kind of became our Saltbox topic this week because there was just so much conversation last week and then bleeding into the commission's meeting. And then there's one tonight. So I'm sure it'll get brought up and we'll have to tune into that so we can report it back. And then there's some great meetings, some town hall meetings this week. And I'm sorry, but look north and south of you. And who else is doing this? Like, who else is providing their residents this open forum? Like,
we checked a couple adjacent towns' websites before we even started this to say, are we, not that we're not a fan of putting all our eggs in one basket, but it's like, maybe we should see if some of the other towns have things going on. Let's check the event calendars, all the things. No, ain't shit happening. So if you want to do something, come to Madeira.
Yeah, no, and I mean, and some of the things that are going on in these other towns, I was telling Caitlin earlier today, I mean, it's like a fast roller skating rink, and I'm trying to jump in just to see what's going on, but I can't figure out when there's going to be a pause in all the people and the sandstorm that's going around where you're like, let me jump in real quick. And
well, now I'm hearing Darude where it's like, and like all the people are going around in this skating rink. Okay.
Exactly. So, but you know, we're all here for hopefully the right thing. And that's just to make the town better. And, you know, and there's priorities that are out there. And I think that people think that the priorities are not the priorities. I mean, priorities of conversation. They might be the conversation that are being had, but it doesn't mean that it falls in where the priorities lie. Okay, so we're having town hall meetings this week. It doesn't mean we're going to start issuing permits next week.
No.
And put them in front of all the good people that are still trying to put their houses back together.
No.
I mean, no, that doesn't mean that at all. I mean, Aldi hasn't even applied for a permit yet. The one that's going in Winn-Dixie. They didn't realize they were going to have to.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's like because they just didn't realize it. And Madeira Beach is like, get to the back of the line. We got other people to work on. You might have thought that was going to be easy because you're a big company, but no, we got people that have to put their houses back together.
Well, and I was just going to say us, you know, lowly residents have survived without a Winn-Dixie now for 6 months. I have no problem getting Walmart delivered and driving to Publix, Aldi. So to the back of the line.
Yeah. Sorry. No, that's right. That's right.
Because your $5 chuck wine ain't cutting it anymore.
No. No, that's for cooking. an emergency use only.
Well, not all of us live in a house full of male chefs. Okay. So I don't know. Okay. So beach is tight, check good people. There are many a meeting coming up. So briefly, as we blow through the two town hall meetings that have to do with the 555 150th project, which yours truly got to talk about on Bay News 9, that is actually going to be on 2 different dates. First one is going to be February 3rd. That is an evening time beginning at 6 o'clock at the City of Madeira Beach City Hall. The second meeting for that, if you're unable to attend or just want to go back for more fun, is going to be on February 7th, beginning at 11 a.m. Now, we're going to bop around on this because my suggestion is the monthly Trash Pirates pickup is actually on February 7th. So if you'd like to stop by either the Johns Pass Bell Tower area beginning at 8 o'clock, they also have caddies, mid-beach here, Gulf Front in Madeira Beach.
We just named Midtown.
We are naming it Midtown,
we just
darling.
named it Midtown.
It's in Midtown, darling.
Yeah, you're
so right next to Kitty Stewart Park, you can go look at your brand new forward parking spots and say yippee.
Yep.
But that is going to be technically from 8 to 11.
Yeah,
correct?
8 to 11, and our good friends Trash Pirates are putting that together. So we're really
shout out to Candy and Audrey there with the Trash Pirates.
It's hard to do anything consistently when you live in a beach town, and they are just so good to this town for that. They are so good. So
friendly reminder, good people, it's always the first Saturday of every month. And shout out to Audrey and Candy because I think we have one of the cleanest beach towns in town. On the islands. I really do. But right after that, don't go home yet because there's another town hall meeting opportunity immediately at 11 a.m. And friendly reminder for all Trash Pirates monthly events, the city parking lots are free parking people. So make sure to check the City of Madeira Beach website for where those free parking lots are offered. And then actually every Wednesday, the Madeira Beach Wednesday Market is being held at City Hall here in Madeira Beach. So
that was talked about at the meeting last week too.
Are they moving it?
Yeah. So they were requesting because they felt like it didn't show the same type of traffic that it had when it was on Madeira Way. And so it was suggested, and I think they're going to look into it, just actually move it back to Madeira Way. They're actually not sure why they moved it away. Saltwater Hippie is going to be open the entire time. The Cambria is going to be open while they're doing all that construction. Why can't that be open too? And that construction zone can't carry over into the street.
Amen.
So why did we move it anyway? But that was a long time ago when they decided to move that just in preparation. But they spoke about that in the meeting last week, and they asked, where else can we move it? And that was the suggestion. How about just back there? So
that's a great idea because
idea.
Well, I was going to say that's a great idea to move it back. And I understand preemptively why they might have made the choice then. But now knowing the information that we know now, hell yeah, move it back.
Yeah.
I will say that when they were talking about possible other opportunity areas in the Johns Pass Business Owners meeting that we attended, I thought about Archibald Park, but that's not going to fly when it's high season and the Snack Shack is reopened. So that's not even a good one. So
I think just moving it right back. I mean, that is the mayor had said that. She's like, why don't we just move it back? And I was like, that's genius. Who knows why they made that decision before? But I think that's what they're going to plan on doing. So,
and then actually, if you are a Madeira Beach resident or just are obsessed with local government, the 5th. So that's going to be this week, actually, on Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. at the City of Madeira Beach Town Hall. There is going to be a commissioner's candidate discussion. We're not calling it a debate, but there is a commissioner seat that is available for this upcoming election in March. And so the two candidates, the incumbent and the person that's running opposing, will be able to discuss and accept forum questions. So if you're interested, check out the City of Madeira Beach Facebook and website.
Awesome.
Okay, great.
Awesome. Yeah. So I think
this was a longer one, but we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we did, especially since we did an event this weekend and it was such a big deal in Tampa, and we were excited to be a part of it. So
we never go to Tampa. We went to Tampa.
I know. We only had to go across 2 bridges.
3 for me.
Oh yeah, 3.
Yeah.
3
for me.
3. Yeah. So, but yeah, so as always, thank you so much for listening to us. We're on YouTube, Spotify, and we're also on, what else are we on? Apple Podcast. And you can
Are
look
we
at us.
really?
Yes.
Sorry.
And you can look us up on our socials, as we do a lot of reels with that. And we're starting to put the kind of the Saltbox topic as not just necessarily a reel, but as, hey, listen to this. So we'll cut that tonight to make sure that that gets taken care of. And we super appreciate any questions, comments, as well as feedback from the Peanut Gallery. And, salties, hey, we're salty out there. Stay salty and, sip often with us. You guys have a
That's
great
right,
night.
man. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.